Good afternoon, everybody. Hope you're well. Sun is out. Life is good. I hope everyone's having a really cracking weekend. Decided to try and do something a little bit different while we're in the weird space of the summer, where we're just going to bring all the news of the week, all the stories, the topping and tailing of them as things have changed over the course of the week, and give you an update on a Saturday to see where we are with stuff. And it's been an interesting week. We've had fake kit leaks. We've had journalists disagreeing with each other. We've had players that are definitely coming to Leeds, players that are definitely not coming to Leeds, and a little bit more in between as well. So we're going to do this live. We'll have a little bit of a chat as well, and we'll have a little bit of peace. We'll go through all these bits one by one, but I'm delighted that you've all decided to spend some of your sunny day with me today. We'll go into the chat. We are going to talk today. So if you're not in the chats, probably not for you today, but we'll go into the chats and see who's floating around. Ian is here as well. Hope all is well in the Emerald Isle. Beautiful day. Hay fever is at me hiding away indoors. Plenty of people in the house saying hello. Hope you're all well. Mine are very well. They're downstairs currently with some friends. Hopefully a few new signings over the next couple of days to ease the nerves. I wouldn't be worried yet. Players don't come back to pre-season until the 7th of July. We have so much time. I don't get what the rush is. We've got time. We can all relax a little bit. Don't be worried about things. Now then is right. It's right. Why wait to announce the signings? Do they have to? What's the big deal? Do we need a big flashy video of a player in a shirt to know that he signed? We'll get into that in a couple of minutes, though, Andrew. There's lots of reports. It's done and dusted. Don't be worrying about it. Everyone's saying the same thing. Relax. It's done. Good afternoon, Chris. Hope you are well. Glad to catch you. You caught the live as well. Hazel's here as well. Lord Sheargrit in the house. Even Sky won't confirm a sign from the player signing. Sweet. Some might. And we probably have the Yorkshire Evening Post coming out straight afterwards telling us it's not true. So you never know. Lee's here as well from Perth, Australia. Hope you are well. Michael Pollard in house. Oliver in the house. Good afternoon, Oliver. How are you doing? Well. Hope you're doing well. Andy is here. Blinky Fish. There's loads of you. There's loads. Jesus, that's Leah's here. What are you doing inside watching me? Why aren't you outside looking at the weather? A decent striker and a goalkeeper. Let's bookmark that one, Richard, and we'll come back to that as we get through it because it's worth talking about the goalkeeping situation as well. And thank you very much, Will. I will absolutely keep up the work. It's not on fleek right now to be a YouTuber. You know, journalists like to be YouTubers, but not be YouTubers. We're going to be YouTubers. I'm going to stick my colours to the mast. I'm not a journalist. I'm a YouTuber. I'm going to stick my colours to the mast on that one. But we do have a bit of stuff to get. So Malaysia in the house as well. That's fantastic to see. We do have a bit of stuff to get stuck into. And we are going to put some stuff up on the screen. If I missed a bit of the chat, I'll try and catch up. If you've got questions, stick them in the chat as we go along as well. I'll bookmark them and we'll cover them off towards the end of the day as well. Yeah, there's loads of you here. I am going to have to skip through some of the stuff because there's just loads of you having a chat with me. It's great to see. It's raining where you are. That's disappointing. Well, it rains here 9 months of the year, so you know, there we go. This is a live quiz. There's a live poll. It's a live poll. If ever I regretted doing anything this week was putting that poll out. The amount of people that contacted me saying that option went red, that means I'm wrong. It was a poll, not a quiz. Don't worry about it. But we'll have a look at that actually as well. I'll make a note of that, the poll. Remind me at the end if I don't cover the poll. We'll cover the poll. I'm going to have a chat about that as well. But yeah, an interesting one as well. Let's stick some stuff up on the screen. Let's have a chat about how the week has gone on. And if there's anything that I'm missing as we go through this, stick it in the comments. Give me a nudge. Give me a capital J. And I'll come back and I'll cover it towards the end of it as well. Great to finally get a live in. Well, that's great. Great. I am good, Mark. I am very good and nice to see it. Yeah, hit a like while you're here as well. And if you are new to the channel, you can stick a subscribe. We are here every day, Monday to Friday. We'll be here at the weekends on and off as well on different platforms. Big Up as well as here. So if you want your daily news concise and short and sharp and straight to the point, unbiased, balanced, and this is the place to be. But let's get stuck into this. Ryan Kent. What we can rule out is Max Aarons. Max Aarons is signing for Rangers, so the 49ers have got their man, but in a slightly different way. He's gone off the Rangers, so they're finalising the paperwork on that one. But let's start off the week. How do we start this week? Well, this has popped up this week in case you have missed it. We will get to the new kits, Blinky Fish, in a couple of minutes. We talk about that, but I will bookmark that. So Richard Morano has said he is complete. He said 3 times now that it was complete, so that's when we did our stream during the week. But yeah, let's have a little chat about this. So currently, if you click on the Leeds United shop, you will see that shop is closed because Leeds are expected to announce their partnership on the new retail online store, which will be ran by Fanatics this year. Fanatics have warehouses and units all over the world. So it will help with the international audiences getting stuff. People have question marks around their reputation in America. It's gotten better over the last couple of years, but there'll be an outlet to distribute the Adidas kits from next season. So keep an eye on that. It is expected, having spoken to Fanatics myself, it is expected that that site will be up and running within the next month. And then you will likely also see Fanatics running the in-person stores, the brick and mortar, as they call them, up around Ellen Road as well, in the shops around Leeds as well, in the airport. So keep an eye on that. So yeah, that's the first thing. So we're going to get a brand new online store. Fanatics make their own apparel and merch as well. So we might actually see slightly more options coming. The microphone wasn't right. There we go. That's better. You might see some slightly more different approaches and a bigger range of apparel coming out in the next couple of years as well, next months as well. Do you think that the late announcement is related to the Fanatics site? I think it might be. Yeah, I think you might see them being done together. So I would imagine that you'll get that store be up and running and the kit launch will be in around that time, because if it's not, well, you can't really buy anything, can you? So yeah. Mark saying that I hope Biel's pace on the pitch is faster than the signings. He's not slow. We did say that the pace was one of his weaknesses. That doesn't mean he's slow. He's a very long, leggy stride, so he tends to look a bit more laboured, but not slow by any stretch of the imaginations. So that was the first story of the week. It's an interesting one. It will give Leeds a much broader reach in terms of kit and apparel next season, which, as we all know, around PSR, the further Leeds can reach with their merch, the more revenue the club can bring in, and it's just a positive all around. So hopefully we'll start to see some movement on that in the coming weeks and months. Let's go on to the kit leaks this week. And do we have any data or detail on when these kits are going to be released? We don't. All we know is that from what we've heard, the second kit will be launched first, and then the home kit will be launched. Leeds are expected to play preseason in the blue, whatever version of that blue kit that comes out. We do have a little bit of detail on that as well. But yeah, no update on that just yet. But we'll talk about this one. And big thank you for the super chat, Tom. Really appreciate that, mate. You're a legend. So there's a lot of jerseys floating around, and we're going to take a little bit of a finer look at them, because unfortunately for people who like this shirt, this is not Leeds United's home shirt next season. The easy way to tell if it's a fake is have a good look at that badge. It's a very rounded badge. And from what we know about the earlier leaked information this summer, is that Red Bull logo on the front of the home shirt will be exactly the same as it was this year. They're not changing their colors on the home kit, but they may change their colors on the away kit. Also, the low fields tunnel design that you have here, the earlier leaked information said that the low fields paneling would be built in as a pattern into the shirt. So if you go back to the kit 2 years ago when we had the white shirt with the peacock design built in, kind of white on white, similar to that. But what you might actually see is the low field tiles down this part of the jersey here in the panels, in here or around the edge of the collar as well. So could very easily be put into it that way as well. So not the kit. An interesting one. You can buy this, though. It is available on the likes of DHgate and those other third-party sites that from Asia. If you want to get it as a fan shirt, it's an interesting design. I have seen people pick it up, but it won't be Leeds United's home kit next season. I think we can say that one pretty confidently. New listener, Brett, good afternoon, mate. Hope you are well. Welcome to the channel. Let's get into the away kit, because this one's slightly more interesting, and people have had a good crack at this one. And there was these two bad boys that have floated around over the last couple of days and weeks. And here's how we know they're fake. Now, to start off with, we know that the new Leeds away kit will be blue and will take inspiration from the version of this kit that was out, I think it was 2003, 2004. However, the kit, apparently from the earlier leaked information, is a blue kit with white in it and will take inspiration from that kit design. So not necessarily confirmed that it will be blue and yellow. It might be blue with a bit of yellow, but there will be more white in the kit from what was leaked earlier this year. And the easy way to tell this is a fake, if you follow these lines that were drawn in here, it actually crosses over the arm there. It runs below the shirt and it actually crosses into the collar there as well. So somebody has doodled these lines on, but a very nice attempt and a very nice looking shirt. It was one of my favorite Leeds away kits that we've ever had. So an interesting one. This one on the right, this was good. This caught me. I thought this was it. Genuinely thought that this was it. However, a closer look will point out that there is a Noom logo on the sleeve here, which is not going to be Leeds sleeve partner. From what we know, it could end up being that. But at the moment, Leeds haven't announced a new short sleeve partner. And all you've got to do is line these up side by side. So Newcastle's away kit. And this design is a curved circle. And this is said to take inspiration from the Newcastle Bridge, the Tyne Bridge. And it's the exact same one here as well. You've got the Newham on the sleeve there. You've got the Newham on the sleeve there. They've done a little bit of tweaking with it. It's a good effort. It's a very good effort. It's a lovely shirt. It is a lovely shirt. However, I don't believe that this will be Leeds United's away kit next season, but it might be a similar pattern. You might get the same style, but slightly different coloring on that one. But if it was this one here, love to see that. That would be stunning. But again, the badge isn't necessarily right. It's a bit bigger, covering off the logo. The Adidas logo is a bit too small. They're quite big now as well. So there's enough little bits in this for you to be able to say it's probably not the right kit. But they've done some good work moving the plinths around and the shoes in the background, taking the red and put it on the back. But it's very, very good attempt. But yeah, does not look like it will be Leeds United's kit next season. So we'll keep an eye. We'll hopefully get some information on that soon as well. I am going to keep an eye on my phone as well, because there might be some announcement on the Yaka All stuff. We'll get to that again in a couple of minutes' time. I'm sure I'll be tagged in it anyway. And if you do see stories floating around the place that you want me to talk about, tag me on X or on Blue Sky. I'm happily cover them on the channel as well. So let's move on. Let's talk about some transfer stuff that popped up this week, and there were some interesting pieces. Yaka All, is he coming to Leeds? Has he signed for Leeds? What's the story? Why have we not seen it or heard anything? Why is no one talking about this at all? Well, they are. There have been an absolute abundance of journalists have now come on. Baron Cross on Square Ball midweek this week when it was recorded said he would be shocked if Yaka All wasn't a Leeds United player by the end of the week. Fabrizio Romano has tweeted again today. I think it's the third time he's tweeted this. All paperwork is signed. Everything is done and dusted. Announcement expected soon. That might not necessarily be today, but it is expected. He's gone off on his honeymoon. Deal is done. Medical is done. Everything is fine. Nothing to worry about. Some of the admin could be down to the work permit, as Mark is pointing out here. Brexit, if you're not a UK citizen, you need a work permit now if you're from the European Union or any European country to play in the UK. So that could likely be a situation on it. Well, someone's had a meltdown saying another Dan James situation happening on Hijacked. Everyone has said, I think Graham Smith even said, it hasn't been hijacked. Relax. Just because you've not seen a fancy video put out by Wilson just yet doesn't mean Leeds haven't signed the player. For all intents and purposes, and for absolutely, it's probably the one situation this summer where every single journalist has agreed on the exact same thing, that this is done. This is done. I mean, I don't know how many more times he can. He can't confirm the deal, but he has confirmed it. The one beside him is Gabriel Gudmundsson. There was a ton of speculation on Thursday that went around the internet, mostly on X, saying that Gabriel Gudmundsson had been spotted in Leeds, and in fact had been spotted at Thorpe Arch, and he was going through his medical. Just to point out, this 1st of July thing that everyone keeps saying is a myth. Joe Donoghue put this out a while ago. It's not true. It wasn't the case. The paperwork won't likely go through till July anyway. Leeds have already signed one in the Metcha. All is done. There could be more done before the end of the month as well. So anyone who's still going around saying Leeds aren't doing anything before the 1st of July, it's got nothing to do with it. Absolutely zero to do with it. That's a financial thing. Joe Donoghue said that Leeds won't make any signings until the 1st of July. In his opinion, Leeds have made two. So they can make the signings now and think of it as a finance deal. If his fee is amortized over several periods, the first payment on that likely won't go through into July. Anyway, Baron Cross has said the same thing as well. The 1st of July thing is a myth. It's not a real thing. Don't worry about it. If you're being told that, if you see it, not a thing. Leeds have already got two in the door. Don't worry about it. And it's a point that needs clarifying, because people are still running around saying that as well. The 49ers, Hazel says, making us wait. They like to do that. I trust the 49ers in the transfers based on the last couple of years. So we'll see him when we see him, but I'm not in a rush to see him. I'm happy for all intents and purposes that this is done and does it. But anyway, back to Gabriel Gudmundsson. So yeah, a lot of reports said that he had flown into Leeds, that he was at Thorpe Arch, that he had done a medical, that they were in advanced negotiations. And then that was very, very swiftly had cold water poured on it. Joe Donoghue, again, is our man to tell us what Leeds aren't doing. He came out and said that wasn't the case, that Gudmundsson wasn't in Leeds, that there wasn't a medical, and Leeds were not in advanced negotiations. No, he did not fly to Leeds at all. Never happened. Never happened. So he was never at Thorpe Arch. that has been confirmed. He wasn't there. In fact, to go a step further with this, Leeds are not even said to be in advanced negotiations around the deal for the player or have put a bid in for him. They're said to like the player, but that's it. So he didn't turn up at Ellen Road. He didn't turn up at Thorpe Arch. He didn't do a medical. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. It's not to say that it won't happen. They do like him. Baron Cross has confirmed this as well. Joe Donoghue, Graham Smith have all confirmed this as well. Leeds do like him. They are looking at him. They're obviously in some kind of conversations with the club, but there is nothing in an advanced stage right now. If they can get a deal done, it might move quickly, which would be great to see. He's a very adventurous left back. He's a bit of a risk taker. He's not unsimilar to the Junior Firpo mold. Junior Firpo mold. Has a lot of pace and is a very direct runner. He tends to push the ball past people and sprint past them rather than take them on 1v1. Think a bit like Dan James. Argon is saying, all right, Jer, who's the most credible link after Bial? Gudmundsson could be really good for us. It looks Gudmundsson and Rodrigo Muniz are the two that look like they're the more substantial ones at the moment. So it'll be interesting to see if where they go. We'll talk about Muniz in a couple of minutes' time as well. Have a quick drink of water. So yeah, there was nothing in Gudmundsson yet, but it would be nice to get him. He's a good left back. He's a good age as well. He's got a good profile, and I think he would suit what Leeds want to do next year. And if Leeds don't have a huge amount of pace with Bial, not saying he's slow, but if they don't have a huge amount of pace, having someone on that side that can cover him as well makes sense. Also on the Bial thing, he is a right footer, plays central defense of a 3 at Udinese, but when he has played in the 2, has played on the left, which is interesting. I briefly played centre half for a while in the back end of my career, and I'm a right footer, and I prefer to play on the left as well because I like to go in and across the park rather than that way. So it's an interesting one. We'll keep an eye on it, but yeah, Gudmundsson's not done. There's no advanced talks, but it doesn't mean that it won't happen at some point. So we have to keep an eye on that. Yeah, there's more accounts again tweeting that the BL deal is done. Move on. Let's have a chat about the next thing. Right, these two, the battle of the journalists. Or at least a journalist from the continent and a journalist that's been told what's going on by Leeds. So we got Noah Siddiqui on the left-hand side. This was a really interesting one that popped up. So Sasha Tavaleri, who is a Belgian journalist, would know an awful lot about Noah Siddiqui, would be very much in the same area as Siddiqui. He would have probably more insight into that as well. He said that Leeds had made a bid for Noah Siddiqui and were in negotiations with the club around trying to bring Siddiqui in. Siddiqui is said to be Leeds' backup option if they can't get Diarra, which is, again, an interesting one that's rumbling on a little bit, but might rumble on a little bit longer. What happened was straight away after that, Joe Donoghue puts out a piece, which he's doing an awful lot of at the moment, just saying Leeds have said no. There's no advanced talks. There's no bid. Never happened. Sasha Tavaleri replied to the tweet with a laughing face emoji and a, okay, as if kind of sarcastic tone to say, yeah, I believe in me. And then someone else said to him, I believe Leeds haven't bid. And he said they did. So you've got a very strong difference of opinion. Joe Donoghue saying that Leeds have told him no. Sasha Tavaleri saying he'd been told yes. So very much a clash there between those two. But it didn't end there. And it moved on again to the other player that we're looking at beside Noah Siddiqui, and that is Nikolo Kristovic. I really struggle with his name. But Kristovic, who plays at Lecce, big striker with an absolute rocket of a right foot on him. Very good in his left foot and good in the air as well. Reports came out from DiMarzio, who are very, very reliable, it should be said. And they said that Leeds had made a bid for Kristovic that was said to be 30 million euro. Sky Italia also said that they believed Leeds had made a bid for Kristovic as well. And then there was some to and fro on whether they had or hadn't. And then Joe Donoghue put out a piece saying that Leeds haven't put in a bid for Kristovic. There's no truth in the story at all. Nothing at all. Now, DiMarzio's track record is very, very good. That should be said. They don't tweet an awful lot about Leeds, but when they do, they tend to be right. Sky in general don't tend to get involved in putting stuff out there unless they know it's at a certain point in the transaction. Again, not to say that it's true. There could easily be a case of Leeds throwing this story out there as a smokescreen while they get some other business done, if there's eyeballs on them. But it was an interesting one this week to see Tavaleri and Joe Donoghue interacting with each other, or at least Tavaleri interacting with Joe Donoghue. And then it was interesting to see that Joe Donoghue said, from a local journalist perspective, the club had told him that this wasn't happening. Not that it was an investigative journalist piece. It was just he was told information by the club sources that it wasn't the case. And Di Marzio said it was. So again, it's an interesting one. And two decent players and two players that would fit the mold of what Leeds are looking for. Sadiqi's a very good central midfielder. Andrea Russo did a piece on Joe Wayman's show on their scouting report. An awful lot. It was his first pick for number 8 this season. He can do defensive work, but he can also go box to box as well and can be quite progressive. So there is some truth that Leeds are interested in both of these players, but whether it's gone beyond the deal at an offer stage or beyond the interest stage into an offer stage, yet to be revealed. Diarra, Leeds have put a bid in for him. It's been rejected. 26 million has been rejected. There is some conversations that Leeds are still trying to get that one done, but it would depend on other interest in him. I did see Fulham and Sunderland linked with him this week, which would not be the top 5 European League clubs or top clubs in Europe that they were looking for Strasbourg. But if that's who Leeds are competing with, maybe we've got a chance. Kristovic not wanting to leave Italy. I think a lot of players, if they were offered the Premier League, would move. But he is still finding his feet in Italy at the moment. He's had 2 decent seasons, but he's got better and better. But there's an awful lot more to his game than goals and assists. I like him. I do like him. I do like the profile that he brings as well. An old school number 9 as well. But it's interesting. Hazel saying, hope we can sign someone who can take a good free kick and a corner. Yeah, that's going to be the one. I think that gets to the number 10. There's talk now from Team Talk this week that Leeds might be looking at Buendia or Hamer, that they're the two. But there's been a lot of number 10s league. James McAtee as well. Frank Honorat at Borussia Mönchengladbach been linked as well. So there's an awful lot of stuff there as well. Diarra is attracting too much interest. He is attracting a lot of interest. Absolutely. Adam Pope won, Nick Pope, not Adam Pope, of the BBC. Nick Pope one's interesting. Again, Baron Cross, who would know an awful lot more about Newcastle, being a Newcastle fan, he said he would love Nick Pope at Leeds. He also said he'd love Sean Longstaff, not a sexy signing, but a very good Premier League player. And I'd have to tend to agree with Baron on both of them. I think they're both very solid, safe options. They won't get you off your chair, and you won't be doing cartwheels in the garden when they sign. But Leeds have been in that bracket before. We've signed like Rob Green, wasn't a stunning signing, but very, very good for Leeds when he was there. David Hopkin going way back. Again, not a massively sexy signing, but very good when he played for Leeds United. Let's move on to the other one. And that is, these are the tweets. Sorry, I should have put these up earlier on. These were the tweets. Lecce Ford, Nikola Kristovic, not an LUFC target at this time. Gianluca Di Marzio, Calcio Mercato, all there. They say advanced interest, not a bid, but advanced interest from Leeds and Kristovic. Remains to understand that the will of the attacker. So Sky Sports putting that one out. So 2, again, very credible ones as well, but Joe saying no. And then when you go to Sasha Tavares, Leeds are the first to make the move on Noah Siddiqui. The Peacocks have made contact to gauge the interest of Union St. Galli's management with an initial offer of €10 million, which is about £8 million. Not a lot of money. Not a lot of money at all. But also said that Olympic Lyonnais had not forgotten about Siddiqui. And then Joe Donoghue's piece comes out straight afterwards that says Leeds have not lodged a bid. And then Sasha went, they have. So, yeah, interesting one. Let's talk about Rodrigo Muniz. This is a really, really, really interesting one because earlier on in the summer, I keep saying earlier on in the summer, we're in the middle of June, but after the season finished, Leeds were said to be interested in Rodrigo Muniz. Fulham were said to want £50 million for the striker. He's in the last year of his contract, but Fulham do have an option to extend that by an additional year, which they might very well do. They will do, very, very likely. Now, what's interesting here is Leeds put in a bid of £26 million plus £6 million in add-on, so £32 million in total. My maths isn't always great, but I think I can do that one. And it was rejected by Fulham out of hand. They want more than that. What was interesting in this, in a now deleted Instagram post, Muniz put up a post that said, they will miss me when I'm gone. He wants to be their number 9. He wants to be their main striker. He is behind Jimenez. They signed another striker this week as well, which might be freeing him up to make a move at some point, which would be the hope, I suppose. Would be the hope. But we'll have to see where that one goes. The other one, keep on the comments here as well. The other part of this as well is it's a real statement of intent from Leeds. £32 million all up will be a record signing for Leeds. He's at very good age. He would grow with Leeds as they grow. He could be at the club for a very long time should they get it done. But it's not said to be an easy one. But now, the interesting piece on this is we cover a lot of rumours every week in the news. Baron Cross at The Athletic speaking on the Square Ball on recording on Wednesday, he said that as far as he is concerned, Rodrigo Muniz is the only credible attacking link or striker link that has been named with Leeds this summer. That anybody else isn't on Leeds' radar, that this is the one right now. So that would include Kristovic as well, although he hadn't heard much about that at that point. Those tweets came out after that had been done. Not worth any more than 30 million. I think you got to look at where he goes. Like if he gets better and better and better, that fee could go up. And they're looking at probably selling him for, they want him to be in around the club. They want him to stay at the club. They want him to grow there and develop there and not get rid of him. And they're probably giving you a price tag that says that's potential as well as current form and current ability. So it's an interesting one. They do have that, Halda is right, they do have that additional 1 year extension as well. So on paper, he's got 1 year left on his deal. Realistically, he's got 2. So, but it was interesting to see him putting out a tweet himself, or a message, sorry, on Instagram himself, where it said, they'll miss me when I'm gone, which would suggest he wants to go, And I agree with Oliver on this. I think Muniz will be a very smart signing. A lot of people that watch a lot of Premier League games rate him quite highly. I think he would be a very, very strong signing. Loves the streams. Well, thank you very much, Connor. Nice to see you here, mate. So yeah, that is that one. I think, are we done? Is that our last one? Is that our last story? Yeah, it is our last story. So yeah, that's the one there. We'll get into a couple of the comments as well now. We've got a couple of stats. If you've got any questions, stick them in the comment section. And I'll just fix my overlays a little bit here. That's too big. That'll do me. We're grand. So Richard Jones had said, I'm just hoping we'll get a decent striker and goalkeeper. I mean, if Muniz is the striker and you've got Nemecha as a backup striker, then you've got Joseph and Bamford. What happens with those two? I'm very much on the loan Mateo Joseph out for a year. See how he gets on. Give him the game time. Pat Bamford, will he be part of the mix next year? Will he want to sit around on the bench? Will he want to be third, fourth choice striker? It's an interesting one. I don't know. I don't think so. The goalkeeping one's interesting. Nick Pope will be very, very solid signing. My favorite, Jordi Petrovic, doesn't look like it's going to happen. It looks like Strasbourg are going to try and sign him full-time permanently. And they're owned by the same company that own Chelsea. So it's an easy move for them. But it is a big one. Some of the news that did come out around the goalkeeping situation said that Leeds weren't panicking or rushing in this situation, that they were going to make sure they got the right one. So it could be one that rumbles on throughout the summer. It's probably not one that you need to get done immediately. It's probably one of the few positions in the squad where you could introduce them late in the window. And it probably won't have a massive impact on settling in because it's a goalkeeping position. Outfield players, you want to get them in as early as you can. You want them to have a full preseason with the club. So, yeah, it's an interesting one. Again, Johnny asking the same question. Any news on the goalkeepers? And it is really quiet. The 10's gone quiet as well. But as we know, the 49ers tend to work in silence. So, it's going to be an interesting one. It is going to be an interesting one. We'll get in some chat and have a quick chat before we wrap up this stream. Sun is shining. I guess we get the weather here near Blackpool a couple of hours after you. Yeah, it's on its way over. It's good. Put your washing out. It looks good. Any updates on Good Munson? We've covered that. So you might have to go back a bit and check, Darren, if you just come in late. Is those couple levels up from Joseph? But yeah, they would be. They would definitely would be. Yeah. I would say Muniz and Joseph, not a million miles apart, but Muniz probably further on in his development than Joseph. Joseph still has that room to grow, and the age profiles there as well. Big Joe being that my chat keeps freezing. Joe Blackburn is in the house as well, up the Melody Sundowns. Afternoon, Joe. How are you, mate? Hope you're well. How do we think we go back? Do we think we go back in for Muniz? I think we do go back in for Muniz. Some reports have a £16 million bid, which would be less, but I think this will be in the player's court. If the player decides to force this or put a push on it, say to Fulham that he wants to go and put a transfer request in, maybe. I don't know. Do you reckon we'll get a goalkeeper? I do. I think Darlow stays. I think Meslier might move on. There are some very loose reports, not credible sources, saying Meslier wants to fight for his place. We'll have to wait and see on that one. Who can we see going for a goalkeeper? I would have said Petrovic and Pope were the two. Not so much anymore. Maybe Pope. If Trafford goes to Newcastle, then maybe you can get Pope. Although Newcastle have said they want both of them. They want competition because of European football this year. So it's going to be interesting. Do you think we get a 10 and 2 8s or 2 8s instead? It's a really interesting point. That was brought up on the Square Ball this week, and it is a really interesting point. Brendan Aronson said that he sees himself as more of an 8 than a 10, which I don't know if he's the frame for it just yet, but if he keeps bulking up, maybe he would do. It would be an interesting one. I don't think he'd be a starter in the 8 position. Leeds might look for a defensive one in there and add an attacking one as well. But they do need to address that position. They do need an 8. Rothwell going. They need one in there anyway. Ampadu will go back in the midfield. Does Tanaka become the more advanced one? I don't think he does. So yeah, I would like Leeds to get a 10 and an 8. But I suppose we have to see what they can get. Did Dan James get his contract extension sorted? No news of that just yet. And that might not be announced until after the current PSR situation as well, because he's a year left on his deal. But yeah, nothing on that yet. Contract negotiations apparently rumored to be ongoing. Sure, would you like to see Leeds? But who would I yeah, again, I'd like Petrovic. But that's not down to me. Up to Sundance. Good afternoon, Jim. Hope you're well. Hope you're doing well, mate. Hope you're well. Joe B asked us to say, Fark out. Stop that. Behave yourselves. He deserves a crack at her. Let's give him a couple of games before we get into that again. I wonder if Premier League suits Bamford better. It proved the last time that it did. Does the injuries and the track record? He doesn't look like he's going to be first choice. Does he go back down to the Championship? I don't know. Do you think Mateo Joseph would go? I've said this before, personal opinion. Everyone's entitled to their opinion, so no shade on anybody who's got a different opinion. I personally would loan him out. I think he's too young to throw him out with the bad water at this point. But I do think a season on loan somewhere would do very well for him. I think if Leeds bring in another number 9 and a good offer for Joseph comes in, then you might see him going to permanent because of the PSR situation. I'm looking at a name here in the chat. Dackman for goalkeeper. Hasn't faced enough shots for me. Very good save percentage. Very good XGOT. But for me, he hasn't faced enough shots. Leeds are going to face a lot of shots last year. We've got to take that. That has to be taken into consideration with a goalkeeper. You're going to have an awful lot more pressure, an awful lot more shots at you than we've had. And it'd be really good to have a goalkeeper who's used to dealing with that volume. And the XGOT part is like the goalkeeping equivalent of XG, saving more shots than they're expected to. And that wins you points over the course of a season. So, yeah, and I do think we go back in for Muniz. Bamford will stay or going free next year. You could have a mutual parting of the ways if a decent club is looking for him. Would you go back in for Phillips? Again, this came up with the square ball. And again, I come comparing across this echo chamber. If it was a case that he took a massive pay cut, he's on 150, 170 grand a week. Forget about it. 13 games last season. So no. If it was in the current situation. If he was to take a massive pay cut, Man City were to do a reasonable price on a deal, on a transfer fee, yeah, maybe. Then maybe. But there's an awful lot of sentiment behind this one. And the way I'm trying to remove the sentiment from it, because I really love Calvin Phillips. I loved him at Leeds. But the way I've tried to separate this is, if someone said to you, there was a Manchester City central defensive midfielder who has had 3 years of injuries, barely played any football, been at loan at 2 different clubs and not really done it, and struggled to get starting time, would you pay 30 odd million for him and pay him 150 grand a week? I think the answer would be no. When you put Calvin Phillips' name on it, you add emotion to it, and that probably causes that. So, yeah, I don't know if I've answered that, Mark. I probably haven't. Probably a lot of dominoes to fall before. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly where I am with that one. Bamford still has 2 years left. I thought he had a year left. Interesting how that. But that's, yeah, okay. 2 years left. I don't know if he sticks around. Michael, hope you're well. I joined late. Is there any news on the video? Scott, we can't go back and cover the whole thing again. It's been confirmed by Romano again today. Don't worry about it. Everyone is saying the same thing. Don't worry about it. Conversation happening in the chat. We'll leave you to it. Don't think a keeper will be till late in the window. Danny, afternoon. Hope you're well, mate. I would agree with you there as well. 1 year on Bamford. We probably could check that on Team Talk. Someone going to transfer market, you'll be able to see that. I could see us signing players that we aren't linked with. Yeah, absolutely. Just Joe Football Show. Just Joe in the house. Joe's off training with the guys for the Creator Cup at the moment. I'm very jealous. Hamer for 10. Yeah, Hamer or Buendia. If the only options were Hamer or Buendia, what would you do? I would go Buendia. I don't like Hamer's disciplinary record. He upsets me. Has there been any interest in Meslier? I hate even saying this, and I haven't covered it because of who it is. There are reports from Turkey about that club in Turkey being interested in him, but I think, Jesus, that would be a hell of a move for Meslier. If he thought the fans didn't like him now, go over there, but I don't think it's credible, so I wouldn't put any pressure on him. I wouldn't say it's even legitimate. Smash the likes if you can. Not enough. Mamelodi Sundowns propaganda. What is this about? You're doing your thing again where you've had a conversation with other people and you're bringing it here. I don't know what it's about. Bamford won't go. He'll be used to practicing. Stop that now, Lord. Be nice. Smash the likes. Thank you very much. Send Bamford out on loan. It could happen. Quit with a loan with the year left in the deal and then maybe get a contract somewhere else. We should conclude, Pope. Rumours saying Southampton willing to let Ramsdale leave. He has an option to get out of his deal because of relegation. I heard he was very strongly being linked with a move to West Ham United because they're looking for a keeper as well. Hope that we move Harrison on the poll. We'll get to the poll. Right, give me a sec. Let's get the poll up. The poll that I regretted putting up. We'll stick it up and have a look. So I did ask people for a sentiment check on Jack Harrison. What did you think? So once my internet starts playing ball, because it's having a wobble because it's warm outside, we'll have a little look at this. Right, zoom in a bit. It's pretty categoric. So the Jack Harrison poll. The question was, do you keep Jack Harrison or do you sell Jack Harrison? 91% of 2,100 people said sell. 9% said keep. For whatever reason, these polls light up different colors for different options. So the keep light up green. That doesn't mean it was a question. The answer was correct. And sell lit up red. It doesn't mean anything. It wasn't a quiz. But yet 91% of the 2,000 people who got involved in the poll said that they would like Jack Harrison sold. I think it's very hard for him to come back, but you wouldn't rule it out. I've seen some people saying play him left back. We'll see. Why people say that he doesn't have to do it or go, I don't know. No to Melier. Fair enough. Good afternoon, Leon. Hope you're well, mate. Harrison to the SPL, loan of the Rangers. Melier needs to go. Fresh challenge. For him as well, I don't hold any personal anger towards Ilan Melier. He's a young keeper. He's a young lad. I hate getting personal with players. There's no point. I just have no interest in it. I don't see any reason to do it. But for him and his development, a clean slate probably be a good one for him. Got the feeling Frank keeps Harrison. I don't know. What's happening with Harrison? We've just been talking about that. Right. I'm going to have to catch up in the chat. Harrison to Rangers. Bamford. There we go. Is Rothwell definitely not coming back as even a squad player? Recall price was too high. I think they wanted £8 million for him. And if you're looking at going after Noah Siddiqui for £8 million, you're getting him more for that. I like Joe Rothwell. I loved having him here. I liked what he did for the club. Everyone who watches these videos and streams know that I banged on about tempo. And Leeds been really good side when they've got a higher tempo in their team. And I thought that Rothwell gave us that. But I don't think he comes back, unfortunately. But as a squad player, I'd love to have him. Hamer can play as a 10 or as an 8. You could get the two of them, Buendia and Hamer. I just think Buendia's disciplinary record will be a problem. Even Jerry, hope you're well, mate. Do you think Gruev gets sold? I don't, because I think Leeds will need more defensive options and cover as well. We need a squad. We need depth. So, yeah, we'll see. What else? Anything else of interest floating around in the chat before we wrap this one up? Only Leeds Pro in the chat. Good afternoon, lads. Just heard a knock at your door. If you haven't checked out the lads Saturday morning show, it's fantastic. You should go and have a look at it. Did a knick-knack on my door during the week as well. So yeah, go check it out. It's a good show. It's a very good show. Get a cup of coffee on a Saturday morning and go watch White's Wake Up. It's very much worth it. So anything else floating around the chat before we wrap up? God, there's so much of you, so much here. I'm struggling. Right, nothing else there. We'll wrap it up. So I'll just say massive thank you for joining me on your Saturday afternoon. There's 694 watching. Nuts. If you could just press the like button, that would be awesome. If you also want to buy this t-shirt or some other merch like this, there is a link down below. Click on that link and bring you directly to the affiliate site for me, which helps me and helps fund the channel as well. Be very much appreciated if you want to get some new Leeds merch. We've got some new things coming out soon as well in the next couple of weeks. We'll be announcing them once they're finalized. Like some exciting things. And if you do graphics, if you do channel graphics, I need help. I need help with graphics. I'm terrible at it. As you can see, I'm doing this, but it's not great. So if you do graphics and you want to showcase your stuff and get a plug, the email is on the description of the channel. Give me a shout. Outside of that, folks, I'll say good afternoon to you. Enjoy the rest of your day. Hit a like on your way out. I'll see you on Monday morning for the brand new Leeds news and see what else is coming out next week. And yeah, as of right now, Leeds still haven't announced Jakob Bial, but everybody else and their mother and their cousin and all the journalists have done that. So yeah, it's done. Relax. Don't worry about it. Folks, enjoy the rest of your day and your weekend. Talk to you Monday. See ya. Bye.